Happy New Year. That is right, my bookish friends. Today is January 1st, 2021, the year we thought would never come, but it is finally here, and we can only hope that it is better than all of the shit that 2020 was. And you may be wondering, Amanda, how are you going to kick off the new year? I am kicking off the new year with the only thing that has ever been good, which is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. It's not the only thing that's been good, but it's really up there. It is Corbell. No, there's no correlation to Harry Potter, except that this is a new year for him at Hogwarts, and it's a new year for me to make the same bad decisions. Cheers. Corbell is, as always, a 5 out of 5. I love champagne. It's bubbly. It's spicy. Harry is getting older now. It is the night before his 13th birthday, and his aunt comes to visit the Dursley household, and she insults his parents, and as if he thought the woman couldn't get any fatter, because we really thought she couldn't get any fatter. He makes her fatter, and she floats away like a giant balloon, and so Harry's in trouble. Go figure. But Harry is not a child anymore. He's 13, or he's going to be. So he leaves. He's like, I don't need permission, I'm just gonna go. And so he just goes and finds himself on the night bus with Stan Shunpike. And this is a picture of me and Stan Shunpike, and it was one of the happiest days of my life. It is about this time that Harry also sees rumors of Sirius Black, who has escaped Azkaban, and that's unheard of because Azkaban is guarded by the Dementors. Harry gets dropped off at Diagon Alley. Ron and Hermione finally join up with Harry, and Hermione gets a cat that she names Crookshanks, and cat's not so fond of Ron's rat Scabbers, and so there's that. But anyway, they retire to the Weasley household, and Harry overhears Ron's parents talking about how Sirius Black is after Harry. All aboard the Hogwarts Express, because now that's where they are. They're on the Hogwarts Express. And a freaking Dementor swoops in and starts like sucking the soul out of Harry like he's a plate of spaghetti. Don't worry, he's okay, because Professor Lupin shows up and he's all like, Expecto Patronum! And the Dementor goes away, because those are fighting words. Turns out Professor Lupin is the new Defense Against the Dark Arts professor, because if you haven't caught on to the theme yet, we are going to get a new one of those every book. Professor Trelawney, because now classes have started, is now seeing a Grim in Harry's tea leaves, which apparently means he's gonna die, but it's represented by a big black dog. And like, funny thing, like when Harry was leaving the Dursleys, he kind of saw a big black dog, so like, coincidence. Hagrid becomes professor of dope creatures, and where they at though? Oh! Draco gets attacked by the hippogriff Buckbeak, and it's kind of his own fault because, you know, he does all of the things that Hagrid says you can't do, and because he's Draco, he decides not to listen. In Professor Lupin's class, the students are to fight a Bogart that's the name of my cousin's dog. A boggart, which can take the shape of your fear, and Harry's not allowed to fight it because Professor Lupin's scared that it's gonna take the shape of Lord Voldemort. Who the heck wants that? The rest of the class gets to go to Hogsmeade, and Harry's not allowed to because he doesn't have a signed permission slip from a parent, because, you know, his parents are dead. Then things get crazy because Sirius Black breaks into Hogwarts and destroys the fat lady portrait, and everyone's all like, ah. But then Quidditch starts up and everyone's like, oh yeah, I remember that horror, but Quidditch. But then Quidditch turns into an awful like, oh, because Harry is playing Hufflepuff. Well, Gryffindor is playing Hufflepuff, but you know, Harry. And he sees the big black dog and a bunch of Dementors, and so he falls off his broomstick, passes out, and then when he wakes up, he finds out that his broomstick was crushed by the Whomping Willow. 10 points to not Gryffindor. And because the Dementors like blew up the Quidditch game spot and Harry passed out like a weak little bitch, Lupin tells him, you know, the Dementors affect you so much because you have such a horrible past. He's still not over the whole dead parents thing. And you're just gonna be like, they make your life terrible because you had a terrible life. George Weasley and Fred Weasley give Harry a map, Mortar's map, and this map was written by Moony, Prongs, Padfoot, and Wormtail. No one knows who they are, but anyway, the map can show you where anyone is. Harry uses his invisibility cloak to go to Hogsmeade. He kind of does some like sleuthing, you know, and he figures out that Sirius Black is the reason his parents are dead. And so now Harry is kind of like, oh my god, Sirius Black is after me now. Harry does get one good thing in life, and that comes at Christmas time in the form of a firebolt broomstick. But Hermione tells Professor McGonagall, because it came from seemingly no one, and Professor McGonagall takes it away because she thinks Sirius Black has cursed it, and so the one good thing Harry had, other than his friends, is now gone. Thanks, Hermione. Harry starts practicing his Patronus charm with Lupin because he's got to get better at it if he's going to fend off the Dementors. A bunch of other stuff happens, but Hermione slaps Draco Malfoy in the face, which if she were a real person I'd fight her for, but I'll let it slide because she's fictional. Fictional characters aren't real. They're real, so Hermione, I'm coming after you. And this is where shit gets real crazy. Harry, Ron, and Hermione follow a black dog into the Whomping Willow. They get into a whole little ordeal with the Whomping Willow, and then they go down a tunnel that is at the roots of the Whomping Willow, and there's tunnels, and they end up in the Shrieking Shack, and all of a sudden the black dog is not a black dog, it's Sirius Black, and all of a sudden Scabbers is not Scabbers. He is Peter Pettigrew. And they find this out because Lupin enters the room. Harry is like about ready to like blow up Sirius Black. And then Lupin comes in and disarms Harry. And Harry's like, WTF, man? Like, I thought we were on the same side. But like, now you're evil too. Like, go figure, story of my life. And Lupin's like ignoring him. He's like, this. And he's talking to Sirius Black, and they're all like, hey bro, what's up? And Harry's like, I'm gonna die. And this is where Peter Pettigrew reveals himself as Scabbers, or Scabbers reveals himself as Peter Pettigrew, but irrelevant. They're all like, you killed Harry's parents. And Harry's like, but then Snape is there, and Hermione and Harry disarm him and like kind of knock him unconscious, and then Peter Pettigrew escapes in Scabbers form and he runs away. Lupin forgot to take his like anti-werewolf changing into potion, and so he turns into a werewolf because the full moon is out. Sirius Black turns into his dog form to try to like fight him off, and then all of a sudden Sirius Black and Harry, who are now like, they're cool, you know, like bros, they end up at a lake edges, and Dementors are sucking the souls out of them, and Harry's Patronus just isn't strong enough anymore. So all out of nowhere a different Patronus shows up, and Harry's like, Dad? Harry wakes up in the hospital wing, and Dumble comes, Dumble, we're shortening it, it's Dumble now. Dumbledore walks into the hospital wing and is like, y'all should redo this, in his more words. He's like, there's not much time if I were a person that was trying to change the course of events that have happened. And Harry's like, huh? And Hermione's like, got you, bro, because she's got a little time turner thing. Brings them back to the moment where Buckbeak is supposed to be executed. Oh yeah, because Buckbeak is going to get executed for hurting Draco. But he doesn't, so they save him, and so Buckbeak never gets executed. And they go back in time, and they save Sirius Black from being captured because, oh yeah, Sirius Black gets... I'm a terrible narrator, don't listen to me. Buckbeak is safe, Sirius Black is safe, Harry, Ron, Hermione, safe, Draco, safe. And that effectively ends this novel. So here's the breakdown. Cover design is a 5, because here is Buckbeak, who is saved, Harry, Hermione, and you can only presume that that is Sirius Black, although I suppose you can make an argument that it's Snape, but I'm going to go with that it is Sirius Black. And so there's a lot going on these covers. I don't know if you have this version of the book, but these covers have a lot going on, and so it's a 5 out of 5. They're great. Characters are a 5 out of 5 as always, because you have Harry, Ron, and Hermione, who everyone obviously loves. You have Draco, who I obviously love, and Sirius Black, who obviously everyone loves, and Lupin, who's great. You have Snape again, who's always a conflict of interest in your heart, and Dumbledore, who's wise and always not very informative, but really loves riddles, and you're like not here for it, and you wish he would just tell it to you straight, but he never does. Plot is a 5 because of, as I have said in the past, these plots will always get a 5 because these stories are so original and innovative, and they were trailblazers of the wizarding witchcraft storytelling, and I love it. Ending is a 4.5 out of 5, and it is because I love how this ending ends. They go back, they fix it all, but you live through it all with how it would have happened, and then they fix it, and that's great. Honestly, I don't really have a problem with the ending. I think it's just getting brought down by the fact that Draco gets slapped, and the only person who should be slapping Draco is myself. And the book drop gets a 5 out of 5 because when you find out that Sirius Black is Harry's uncle or godfather, and that Peter Pettigrew is Scabbers, and he's been around for books now. Peter Pettigrew has been a rat for 3 books now, and he's just been chilling and cool with it. There's a lot of like, oh my god moments, and that moment, the whole entirety of the Shrieking Shack, that is the book drop, and I love it. And so it is a 5 out of 5, which gives Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban a 4.9. I think I gave it a 5 on Goodreads, and I think I gave all of these a 5 on Goodreads, but that is because these are amazing, and I don't even think that was English. I think I am muttering, but it is fine. I love these books. That is all I have, my friends. So, Happy New Year. Stay boozy, although I'm sure all of us are hungover today. We'll try again next weekend. Stay boozy.